Today, Baba is underlining the Shrimat that we should know the art of merging. Yes. So, there is a little example that we give when we give the course, and you see, if there is a pot full of dirty water, and you are not allowed to tilt the pot, break the pot, but you have to clean the pot. You have to clean the water inside. Then the only method to do that is to run a fresh water tap above it. And then you see the dirty water will get displaced by the fresh water. And the fresh water will slowly take the place of the dirty water. And the process of purifying the soul is very similar. You know, we cannot pull out our weaknesses. We cannot pull out our vices and leave them. The only method is so today Baba says that you have to merge your weaknesses in the ocean of your complete and perfect stage. So, how do I merge the weaknesses or the incompleteness or the imperfection that's there? So, I just emerge the complete and perfect stage. And the more I do that, and not just in yoga, but while coming into action also, I just hold on to that stage, that complete and perfect stage, and then slowly, gradually, the weaknesses inside will get merged in that state. And you see that you can emerge your complete and perfect stage in remembrance of Baba, because it is Baba who is the mirror in which we can see our complete and perfect stage. So you see that some years back, when we did not have Gyan, if somebody asked us what is a perfect and complete stage, I'm sure we didn't know that. Yes, so we would always talk about perfection of the body, or maybe something physical. We did not know what a perfect and complete stage looks like. But Baba is the reference point of the complete and perfect stage of the soul. And Baba says that I am the ocean and you are the master ocean. And that is your complete and perfect stage. So when I am in remembrance of my Baba, then I perceive myself in reference to my Baba. And Baba's company, Baba's powers, they allow me to experience my perfect and complete stage. So I can see Baba and I can understand what a complete and perfect stage looks like. And then Baba gives me the power. So when I'm in remembrance of Baba, I'm able to emerge that complete and perfect stage. Yes, of just being, there is no pull of doing, proving, establishing, acquiring, just being just like Baba. And then from that place of being full, when I act, then that act is, that action is elevated action. So, we are always acting from a stage of incompleteness. And that's why all our actions are vicious, because there is, there is desire, there is greed, there is something, that I want from that action. And that is what makes that action vicious. So Baba says that you need to emerge your complete and perfect stage all the time, and then from that stage think, speak and act. And not just our complete and perfect stage as in the when we are in the soul world with Baba, but Baba is the ocean of knowledge, and Baba has given us the knowledge of our complete and perfect stage in the new world, where, I am playing my part, but my stage is perfect. So Baba says, emerge that also in yoga. Yes, and then, so, at least 3 stages are complete and perfect. So the stage of a soul in the soul world, the stage of a deity in the, world of divinity, and then the stage of an angel in the subtle region. So these are the complete and perfect stages, and Baba says just emerge them, and it requires, so you see, it requires an aim that you want to merge your weaknesses. So how committed are you to this, this aim of merging your all weaknesses, finishing your weaknesses? That is a question you have to ask, because you see, as is the aim, so are the qualifications. So do you have the aim? Do you have, I remember, when I came into Gyan, and so then the papers of Maya started. And then there was one time when I felt like, why is this happening? And I was very puzzled and confused. I was new also. And then, I kept asking Baba, why is this happening? Why can't this process be smooth? And then, I saw a vision in which there was a person who had been pushed into the water and he didn't know how to swim. And then he was fighting for his life, and he was just trying to save himself. And and then, I had this thought, Baba spoke, or whatever you say, that are you this desperate to take your inheritance? And then I felt, I don't know whether I'm that desperate to take my inheritance. And so you see, Baba says that, once, just think about, the vision that I had. You see, it's this life. There is nothing, so Sangam Yugi life is valuable, but Kali Yugi life, just imagine, what is it? It is nothing. It is worth nothing, because you're all the time struggling and striving, and you have to work so hard for everything, and then it is a life of pain and sorrow and struggle. And then if somebody pushes you into water, you struggle so much because you don't want to die, and you don't want to die from your Kali Yugi birth also. Then just imagine what you should be, how much of intensity, of commitment you should have to claim your fortune from Baba. If you understand, if you really understand that Baba, or you have, Nishay or faith that Baba has really come to make me the master of heaven, if you have that faith, then how much you would strive to achieve that. And Baba says, you understand that any weakness that you have will stop you from becoming 16 celestial degrees full. So, You see, in bhakti, there is a very good system that when you worship a deity, when you place a deity for worship, then that idol should not have any, imperfection. If the idol has any, whether in transport or something, it's broken a little, then you can't have it as a worship worthy idol. So just think about how perfect we have to be in order to become that living deity. And for that, any little weakness also will reduce my chances of becoming a Suryavanshi deity. So Baba tells us that if you have that aim, then just make this effort to keep emerging your perfect stage. Whether it is the perfect stage, complete stage of a soul in the soul world, or your stage of a deity, just use your mind and intellect to stabilize yourself in these stages, or the stage of an angel. And when you keep doing that while you're playing your part, just emerge that stage and play your part from that stage. And when you keep doing that, then all the weaknesses will merge, because, as I always underline, the law is, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you are always emerging your complete and perfect stage and not using your weaknesses, then those weaknesses will go away. So this is one act of emerge and merge that Baba teaches us. Another thing Baba says is, merge all the expansion and come to essence, and then you will become like the Father. So you see, we live in a world of expansion. Yes, so there is expansion in what you see, what you hear. Your thoughts also go into a lot of expansion, sometimes very necessary also, because let's say you have to do some seva. Let's say I tell you, the center needs mattresses, let's say, yes. So I tell you, go and search for mattresses. You have to go into expansion. You have to go look at 5 places, compare the prices, look at the quality. You have to do all that. You have to go into all of that expansion, or, understand, what is a good mattress, what does a good mattress consist of, what are the things you have to look out for. So everything is about expansion, whether you are doing Lokik work. Even in Lokik work, you've been given a project, a task. You have to go into the details of whatever it entails. But Baba says that what you have to do is, after the expansion, come into essence. Okay, so if you don't take this step of coming into essence again, then what happens is this expansion keeps building on itself. So you go into expansion for one seva, and then there's something else, and then there's something else, and then your whole intellect has gone into a lot of expansion of the matters of the world, and then it becomes very difficult to bring it to essence. So every time, take moments, every hour, 3 minutes of traffic control, or 1 minute. That is your time to come into essence. For example, you are listening to somebody's, so in the center, what we do is, there are some people. So let's say a whole family comes, and then they are all talking about their own issues. So the daughter-in-law is speaking, the mother-in-law is speaking, the husband is speaking, the children are also speaking. And then, you have to listen to all of that, because you have to understand the context. What is it that they want, or where are they coming from? And then you have to, after understanding everything, how do you come to essence? You have to come to essence and ask yourself, who am I? What is my role here? Yes, my role is not to discern who is right and who is wrong, although you understand all of that. My role is not to discern what is somebody's sanskar. But having understood all of that, what is my role? My role is to teach them individually how to connect with Baba so that they can connect with each other also. Because you see, if they are not individually connected to Baba, they cannot connect with each other because they are empty. And when they are empty, they will have expectations. And when those expectations are not met, they will fall apart. So, what is the essence that I have to come back to? Now, suppose I suppose I avoid the expansion, then what happens is that soul doesn't feel seen or heard. So I have to listen to it, but then I have to also come back to essence. Yes, or you are also in your role as in the Lokik family or Alokik family. You also have to listen to, maybe children when they are talking about their issues or something, and then come back to essence. And maybe, while you're listening, you are not very soul conscious, and then some things have affected you. Sometimes it also happens. Let's say your child comes and says, somebody slapped me. And then you are not very soul conscious, and then you start feeling that pain. You just felt that. And then your child says, somebody also insulted me, and then you feel that pain also. And then after that whole story, you have to come back to your essence that I'm a peaceful soul. Not just the essence of what is my role, but who am I also? And who is with me also? So this is coming to essence is very important, because you see, when we are coming into relationships or, seva, if somebody is dealing with people, so, maybe somebody is a bank employee and then you are dealing with so many people and so many vibrations, and all of that is having an effect on you. And that's your job. You can't avoid it. You are sitting there, and then, somebody is coming and saying, it's very urgent and I have this matter pending and this money is not arriving and I am in trouble. So that affects you. And then somebody shouting and screaming and telling you are not doing your job. That also affects you. And then, after all of that, take that one moment, take that 1 minute to come into essence and just take the love and light from Baba and sit in the awareness that I'm full. I'm not drained. I am, I'm just a giver. Again, reset your attitude that I'm not here to receive the vibrations of everybody, but along with giving the service that I'm here to give, I also have to serve the souls with good wishes. And every Brahmin knows this, but very few do this. So, when you are coming into expansion, you have to take moments to again go back to essence. And then, somebody is, you are engaging in some activity, and then somebody is directly, rude to you or not good to you. And then you understand, you try to understand where they're coming from or what they want. But then you also have to come to the essence of what do I have to give here? Not how they are or what is wrong with them. No, that expansion you've understood. But then come into a sense about what is my role here. They are like this, they are like this, they are like this. You have understood. Okay, now what? So, when somebody comes to the center, so, there was this one brother and he came and he said, my son is like this, my son is like this. And he kept, talking about his son for half an hour. And then I heard all of that. And then I asked him, so what do you do now? Throw him out of the house? I'm with you if you want to throw him out of the house. So then he said, no, I can't throw him. So then I said, then what do you want to do? What can be done? So he said, he's just, making my life hell. So I said, I understood that. You have narrated that enough. Now what? So what is the essence of all of that? So, there is a relationship, and that's why you're talking so much. So then, keeping that relationship in mind, what do you want to do now, or what can be done now? That is the essence. You have to come back to the essence. So the essence consists of four things, Who am I? Going back to your stage. Who do I belong to? Going back to the remembrance of Baba. Yes, and what is my duty here? What is my role here? Yes, and what is my aim and objective? So, my role in this place and my aim and objective. So, how do I play that role? And, what do I want? What is the role that I want to play here? My aim and objective. And when you go back to these four questions again and again, you are coming back to your essence. And if you keep doing this, slowly, gradually, you will become like Baba. Because Baba is also doing all of this. Yes, Bab Dada. So you see, Brahma Baba played his role very well. He took care of the yajna, he took care of his responsibilities, everything. And then he kept going back to who he was. So, when there was the beggary part, when there was no food to eat, yes, so if you listen to the history of the yajna, then there was a time when all the resources, they had been, consumed, because it was basically Brahma Baba's wealth that was being used to sustain the family. And then, any amount of wealth you have, if you keep just consuming it and not adding to it, then it will get over. So then the beggary part started. And when the beggary part started, then Brahma Baba thought about, how to carry on the yajna or fulfill the responsibilities. But then he went back to his carefree stage also. His essence of who is my Baba and whose child I am and what is my stage. And he always went back to his carefree stage. He, of course, thought about, how to keep things going, but then he didn't think so hard that it would change into worry. So that is what going back to the essence means. Going back to who am I, whose child am I, what is my role here, and what is the aim and objective here? What do I want to do here? So my aim and objective is to bring the soul closer to Baba, or my aim is to not get affected in the situation. My aim and objective is to steer clear without using a lot of resources. So this thing you have to keep going back to. And when you do this, then you will become like Baba. Sometimes there is a mistake that children make. And that mistake is, children think that 63 births, you did something and spoiled your fortune, but now you don't have to do anything, you just have to sit and you will create your fortune. Remembering Baba. Yes, remembering Baba is most important, but why? Because when you remember Baba, then you will be able to settle those accounts and create your fortune by doing seva. And for that, you need a very powerful stage. But settlement of accounts and creating of fortune will happen through karma, but through being a karma yogi. And a karma yogi stage is when you are always in essence in the field of expansion. And then slowly, when all your karmic accounts are settled and you have created your fortune, you become like Bab Dada. Yes, so this is another aspect of merge and emerge that Baba is talking about. And then today Baba is talking about the certainty of the new world. And you see, we live in a world where if somebody asked you, what is it that is certain? Yes, so anything that you can name which is certain in this world, Can you name anything that is certain in this world? Yes, anybody?
Change and death.
Change and death, yes, right? So in this world, there are only two things that are certain. change and death. Yes, there is nothing else that is certain. And Baba says, just like, death is certain, similarly, it is so certain that you will go to the new world if you're following Srimad. And those who have faith in that, yes, that if somebody follows Srimad, then they will go to the new world and the new world is being created. So, do you have that faith? So, just like, because some people think we will not die also. So, faith has got nothing to do with truth. Do you understand? Truth and faith are two different things. Something may be 100% true, but faith is a very subjective thing, because some people don't believe that they will die also. Yes, and because they are not acting like they will die one day. So their actions, they speak like they will be eternal. And I remember there was this 80-year-old person, and he was having an argument, or there was a kind of a tiff with somebody who was 28 years or something. And then this person said that, as long as I live, I'll make your life miserable. And then, and he said, just watch out. And then this person, he just stood there and he didn't say anything. And then I asked that fellow, what happened. And then he said, how delusional is he? He's thinking that, he will live long enough to make my life miserable. So my life is much longer than his. So I said, I don't want to comment on that, because these days, nobody knows. But the thing is, why I'm giving you this example is because people are not sure of death also. People don't think about their death also. So Baba says that, we understand that and have faith that the new world is coming. And anybody who is following Srimad is going to the new world. And as much as you're following Srimad, you're getting that kind of a position in the new world. So those children who have this faith, they will always be happy. Yes, because they understand that if the new world has to come, then the old world has to collapse. And everything in the old world is slowly collapsing. And why do you lose your happiness? Because you don't want the old world to collapse. Yes, whatever is the old structure of things, relationships, body, you feel bad when that is changing and you lose your happiness over it. But when you understand that the new world is certainly coming and the old world is certainly going, and this is as certain as death, and I, the one who is following Srimad, is going to go to the new world definitely. And if you're following Srimad very well, then you're going to have a good position and you're very sure of that, then you never lose your happiness over anything. And this is something that Baba is underlining today, that those children who have this faith, they never lose their happiness over anything. Because you see, although children, they have received the knowledge that this old world is going away, you still hold on to everything in the old world because you don't believe that the old world is going away. But Baba says it's a question of faith, and those who have this dharana that it is certain that the old world has to go and the new world has to come, they never lose their happiness over anything. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Till today, what I have understood is that we are living in a world of uncertainties and world of sorrow and pain. And we have to face a lot of challenges throughout the day, every day. And for that, we have to be very aware of our new birth and our destiny also. And we have to focus on that and stabilize our situation, condition of the soul, and keeping engaged in yoga and murli. And this is a very good medium
Correct.
to get over rid of it.
Yes.
And I have tried it. I am very happy with that.
Yes.
And our focus and is totally shifted from there.
Yes.
And yes, we have to develop the power to adjust, to tolerate, to keep putting full stop every now and then. Only then we can stay peaceful.
Correct.
And remember Baba properly.
Correct. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
again, you have to merge everything and come to a sense, and only then can you be happy, because so many things happen. But if you know what is what and what do you have to do about it, then you will always, you will not lose your happiness. Yes. So when somebody is diagnosed with an illness, they become very jittery and fearful. But once they understand what is the cure, then they feel okay. So this is to be done. I have to get operated, or I have to have 30 sessions of physiotherapy, or this or that. So it is like that. You ask yourself, what do I have to do in this? Then everything becomes very easy. Okay. Om Shanti.
And now we have Baba also.
Of course.
As our companion. Now we are not alone. As earlier we had to face everything.
Yes. Yes. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yes. Anybody else? Om Shanti.
Didi, I liked 2 to 3 points today from today's Murli. Like you said, that how committed we need to keep asking ourselves, how committed am I to achieve my inheritance from Baba? You gave an example of the person who was drowning. So am I that committed? Like I would be for my life, and any weakness I see in myself will stop me from achieving that goal.
Yes.
Then secondly, while playing your part in this drama, you need to emerge, keep on emerging your complete Sampurna Swarup, and act through that. So that will, with this practice, the weakness will keep merging.
Yes.
And the complete self will keep emerging.
Yes.
And the third thing is to merge back to the essence from expansion. The exercise, we can just do that exercise every hour. Just take a pause for 2 to 3 minutes. That will keep, if I'm going into expansion, that will just remind me to come back to my original self and and remember my sanskars. So that can help me. And a constant remembrance that whenever I'm in the group, so I need to keep on constantly reminding myself that I'm not here to receive their vibration, but I'm here to give my vibrations to them.
Correct.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you, Om Shanti.